So welcome TST meeting on October 1st, 2024. I have 3 items on agenda today. Let's start with the first one. You everybody know that BSN is going to work on the lab in Berlin. We have 2 pods there and 2 OLT devices connected to these separate 2 pods. And they're going to work on one of these pods and try to bring the Deutsche Telekom and Türk Telekom very close to green in a working condition. I see Jan is here with us. So now, I think it's very close for them to start the work. Probably in this few weeks, they're going to start this work. We need to know your action plan, Jan. What are you going to do and what are the timelines? So in order to, inform the TST and community about your work, can you, if you have your plan ready, can you explain us, what's going in the few weeks and, until the end of the year or until the work is completed?
So I think the first action item here would be to actually get back the contract from the Linux Foundation and sign the contract.
Yeah, of course.
I would hope that we can do that in the next week, ideally, like, I don't know, maybe this week.
That contract should already be back with you.
I checked. I did not receive anything. I only received an email that says that the old contract is now invalidated. So the old link, but I did not receive anything new so far.
Okay, I'll check with Tanner, but he said he resent it this morning with the changes that had been discussed over email.
Okay. Okay, so I can also check my mails again, but I was checking throughout the day and yeah, your morning is right now, right? Sorry. But I don't have anything. Okay. So as soon as we sign that, I guess then it should be this week. We should plan out a bit like the impact of certain reinstallation steps. So I guess the first step would probably be to collect the hardware that DT procured in addition to host all of the like deployment, management, whatnot services. That should be somewhere here in Winterfeldstraße in the cellar. So we'll try to search for that. Then we need to move the gateway. So the one that is actually providing the outside connectivity. That's a bit of configuration, I guess, in terms of moving the public IP address, doing the NATing and all of those things. So we need to coordinate that with DT. And once we have the gateway, so the external access, we can then start provisioning all of the internal things. So there's a bunch of things upcoming in terms of we'll probably use Metal as a service, so MAS to provision all of the different servers there, and then like build the rest of the platform automation and such on top of that. I can try to outline those things in more detail in writing, because I don't think like me having a very long monologue right now is great. So I'll try to outline the next steps and the timeline. And then I guess during the next TST on Tuesday, I guess, we can sync up on if the timeline meets with your expectations or if you want to move certain things here and there. But I'll prepare something for the next TST in terms of our next steps for the next couple of weeks. Maybe in terms of what you asked about, like towards the end of the year and stuff like that. So I don't think it will be possible to finish all the steps until end of the year. I think our initial plan was to do that, but our initial plan also was to start at the beginning of September. So we're about a month late now. So let's see, maybe we can still make some of the things work until end of the year. But currently, and assuming the initial time plan that we also proposed in the offer moved by about a month, bit more, I would assume we are landing somewhere end of January, mid of February with the tasks.
Okay, got it. This plan that you're going to prepare for the next meeting, if you know that would be detailed that we can each week we can see the progress on it and put the progress on it, have the, some columns or some places that we can put the progress every week so that we can generate a report from there to the TSD and the board also. Is
Yeah,
that
absolutely. So it will obviously be based on the steps outlined in the SOW, and it will be a bit more detailed for the next couple of weeks. And I guess I'll be the one joining on a regular basis the Tuesday TST meetup or meeting, and then we can try to like synchronize on what the current status of those things is and all of those.
Yes, okay. That's great because I was going to say that we're expecting from you, I mean, your team, one of your team to join the TST meetings weekly and, give a status every week so that, as I said, we will, share the status to the community periodically. That's great.
Good.
Yeah. Okay, good. Let's talk on the hardware that I put an item here for the hardware that we're using in these labs. As you probably remember, that we have a Zyxel and an H-core OLTs in this lab in two different pods. Actually, the H-core one is the primary one that all of the workflows we are working on. It's on the pod 1, and on the pod 2 is a Zyxel, but there is only one DT workflow working on that Zyxel, as far as I remember. So I think we need to focus on this pod 1 with all DT and Türk Telekom workflows that's working on. But in this pod, there is, as I said, the OLT is H-core OLT. And it was not in a good condition. We need to, restart it frequently, to bring it back to a working condition. It has some problems, etc. And we also have problem to upgrade it with the new version of the agent. So my suggestion is here's my proposal actually to change this with one of the Redis OLTs we have currently, or Redis will provide, because I think Redis also want to put an OLT in this lab, and they are ready to install their new firmwares with new agents every time we need it. So I think it's better going with this Redis OLT. I don't know, Evlash, are you here? Yeah, I see you're here. So what do you think on that? Can we put in Redis OLT? Can we, remove the H-core OLT from the setup and put a Redis OLT?
Yeah, so there is one Radis OLT already, one GPON OLT already in Berlin lab. I mean, in the sense, not in the Berlin lab, but it's in Berlin. It's with Beyond. So I can speak with Beyond and get it plugged into the lab, in the lab.
Okay, but we need Radis to
Yeah, the
install it.
software package.
Yeah,
So the software package,
yeah. Linux Foundation's requirement there. So yeah, I mean, Radis should provide their software openly to open to everybody, so that we can download from there and install it as Linux Foundation. I think there's
Okay.
no problem with that, because we previously, I mean, Redis previously said that there's no problem with that. If you can check again on that, so that we can install, Redis's OLT and start that. So yeah, I think there is no problem to put to replace the Hcore OLT, and this also, I think, I mean, facilitates it for you. Dealing with this Hcore OLT is a bit hard. Instead of it's using Redis OLT is better, but there probably we need to need to change some files, some configuration files, etc., to let the jobs work with this new OLT, I guess. Is there a problem with that for you?
So I don't think so. So maybe one thing that I would suggest here, one of the first steps when we would like start provisioning the infrastructure and like getting it back into a working state would be to also like update the documentation again. I don't know what by documentation I only mean the part of like which piece of hardware is where and how exactly is it cabled. So during the last work last year that we did, we more or less completed a netbox documentation of all of those different things. And I don't know if you're hosting that at the moment. I think my last date was I sent it out to Joey, who wanted to do something with it on some new infrastructure. Is that somewhere hosted, or would we also
No,
do that?
we couldn't make it to hosting somewhere. So we need it again from, do you have it still? Or
I still have the email, yeah. I still have the backup, so so I can also like obviously assist with like setting it up somewhere. A simple way would be to set it up on the infrastructure here. A better way would be to host it somewhere, ideally on a Kubernetes cluster operated by the Linux Foundation. I don't know if that is something that is available or not, or how you would like to host this kind of information. But it would be important that it's running somewhere because most of the discussions that we're going to have based on adding a new OLT or doing recabling or adapting the test and configuration files on the actual cabling would be based on this, because otherwise it would be like me standing in front of the rack explaining what I see and then you trying to map that to configuration files.
okay, I think there are networks layout there, and there are also IPs and this kind of information in there. So
yes,
I'm trying to be sure if we can host it to a publicly open space, or should we keep it in a, I don't know, more restricted area. So Eric, do you have any idea about this kind of information? If you
so I mean,
host
it is username and password protected, right? So I mean, it's not like just hosting it in the public internet means everybody has access. It's just like eases a bit the access, and then you still need to log in with username and
Yes.
password. Depending on that, you see different things.
Yeah.
So hosting it in the public internet would allow us to show a certain kind of information to everybody, like, for example, how certain things are cabled, because that's needed if the community would want to adapt any of the configurations, but hide other things like exact IP addresses or whatever, because that's not necessarily needed for everybody. But yeah, I mean, it's just an open question. I mean, we're not going to start that today. It's more like maybe whoever is responsible within the Linux Foundation or whoever has access to such things could think about where we would want to host this netbox thing.
Okay, so I think for the open, the open part of it, open to everybody, we can put it in VOLTHA docs, I guess, because there are some test setup, etc. page in Volta Docs, but for the protected ones, I'm looking to Eric, I guess. Eric?
Sorry, I was thinking about the public internet thing and completely missed your last question. I apologize.
Yeah, for the lab setup and configuration, we need to, open some part of
Right, so
configuration to public and protect some of them for perhaps TST's access only and Linux Foundation's access only,
yeah, I mean there's no reason to not be able to do that. Like we don't usually have labs that are set up like that, but in truth, like we have enough architecture that is set up that way that I don't think it's a major issue.
Okay, great then. Okay, I mean, Jan, if when you finish its update, then, we can decide this again and open related tasks to Eric or PST then. Okay.
So I'm also happy to we don't need to discuss that in the super large round where we host what. So I'm also happy to discuss that directly with you, Eric. Hi, Eric. Nice to meet you.
Hi. Yeah, that'd be fine.
We can just chat where such stuff could run and how we want to set it up and stuff like that. It's just it's one of the first steps because every change to the infrastructure would be based on that, right? So it's a bit easier to describe how you want the recabling to be done if you can just recable it virtually and then we can align the physical part with that. But let's take it offline to another meeting. I'll write an email.
All right, sounds good.
Okay then. That's good. We're parking it here then. Okay, the next item is, checking the, accept the BSDN's works when it's finished. So, Jan, after you prepare this, plan for the next week, then we can, as TST, add some acceptance criteria that we previously, put on some document shared with you. So we can put the acceptance criteria on this document, and when the work is finished, we can, check this acceptance criteria if it's finished or not. I think this is okay for you as well, Jan.
So the acceptance criteria are already defined in the SOW.
Yeah, I'll just put, this on this single document that you will providing to us. Put the acceptance criteria on this document so that we can, use only this single document to, proceed.
Okay. So maybe that's a misunderstanding. So I'm not intending to write a big new document which redescribes everything that we already have in the SOW. I'm going to base everything on the SOW because that's the agreed upon thing also within the contract. And the only thing that I would prepare for the next TST meeting would basically be a short thing from the SOW, which will happen the next couple of weeks, and maybe some updated dates for the timeline that was also in the SOW. So not generating any new documents because we already have enough of those, I think. It's more there is a certain amount of steps that we need to take, and basically based on what we described in the SOW and the acceptance criteria in there, I should be able to tell you next Tuesday which of those things we're going to tackle until the next TST, and then until the next TST, and so on until every meeting, basically, that we can have a weekly check-in on the progress. But I don't want to write a lot more things unless that's needed. I hope not.
Okay. No,
Okay.
I'm not talking about a very detailed document, as I said. If this document that you're preparing or action plan that you're preparing next week is not suitable for us, we can put a list as a TST for the acceptance criteria and, put a check mark column opposite all of each and every item. That's all, and after the work finished, we can put a check mark to the acceptance criteria and say that okay, this work is done and it is checked. That's all. And I can prepare this document separately if this is okay for you, and we'll share it with you, of course. Okay.
I still don't exactly understand what that would be, because we have an SOW with detailed acceptance criteria.
Yeah,
that
it's the PDF file, and I'll change it to a sheet, Google Sheet, so we
Okay,
can
sure.
put it on and put check marks on it,
Okay, sure.
That's all, yeah. Not a different document than this, so. Okay, then the next item for me is the VOLTHA release 2.13 preparations. So the actual date for 2.13 was June of this year, but we couldn't, release it because of the problems in the pipelines, because the test pipelines were not working. And the timeline for 2.14 is at the end of this year. So for 2.13, we have two options, I guess. First one, to release it immediately. And the second option is to release 2.13 at the end of the year instead of 2.14, so that, we can, again, start to, do the releases at the end of the year and the half of the year. So I wanted to, get your opinions on this. Especially TSD members, Abilaj, Serkan, what do you think? To me, we said that in 2.13 we're going to put VGC. So I guess to me it's better to release 2.13 at the end of the year and start to put VGC related things. If any lacking software that we need to upstream, if any tests we need to upstream, etc., finalize this and release 2.13 at the end of the year.
Yeah, sure, man. I'm with you on that. We'll try 2.13 end of the year along with VGC. But although VGC supports only TT workflow as of now, but that we'll have to figure out. So it'll basically be both VGC along with ONOS, but eventually we'll have to phase out ONOS.
Okay, so we do, prepare it, and it will be ready by the end of the year, so that we can release it. I'm talking about VGC. We can release VGC with VOLTHA 2.13, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Any objection to this?
I don't have any objections, but for the test pipelines, Abhilash, are you also going to work adapting the test pipeline with the VGC?
Yes, there was one work item with Joey. Probably Joey was not able to pick it up. I'll just sync up with Eric once and then get the VGC pipeline ready. Both the test and also the build pipeline.
Yeah. So we will have a, sorry, Eric.
No problem.
We will have a kind of configuration item, like deploy with VGC or deploy with ONOS, right? So we will have two options, and we'll need a global configuration for that, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, we'll have to come up something like that. Either VGC or either ONOS.
Yeah.
So one question I wanted to ask actually was, we still have a lot of 2.11 tests in the CI management code. Can those be pulled out at this point? Or do we still need things specifically for 2.11 tests?
2.11, I think, is an LTS version. So until we release another LTS version, we
Okay.
keep the latest LTS version. But we don't need, after we release 2.13, it will be the new LTS. So we need to, then we can, remove 2.11 and 2.12 and start 2.13 instead.
Okay.
Perhaps
Right, thanks.
we need to talk on this LTS also in the new Linux Foundation. After we merge to Linux Foundation, I don't know if we still need to support an LTS version, a previous version or not. Let's talk this separately, then perhaps we can bring it to a TSD and board also. But until that, we need to, keep an LTS version with the master together. We have to, keep these pipelines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I didn't realize it was LTS, so
Yeah,
totally
but
makes sense to have those there still.
yeah, if we
Cool.
have something older than 2.11, then we don't need that anymore.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, then the release time will be the end of the year. And in December, probably the first week of the December, we're going to decide the code freeze date and the release date. Okay. Next item on the agenda. Any questions about the release?
Mahir, but shouldn't we wait for the work on PISTN's work, Jian's work, and get the pipelines and all working fine, and then do a release?
Hardware test. I mean, that's an option. I actually got good option.
Yeah.
I think if we stay for the hardware test to be, ready for the release, then the next release time will probably be March, April, etc. again, and this is a very long time. We need to ask perhaps to the boards and operators supporting us for this. Whether we can go for an earlier release with only software tests, or we can wait hardware test for the late release. Actually, I prefer to go at the end of year, but this may be beyond my or your TST's decision. So
Okay.
what do you think, Ablash? You think we need to have the hardware test as well?
Yeah, I think so. Having hardware tests will be a good one when we are releasing. But what we can do is let's take a call probably somewhere around November timeframe and see how things are going on the hardware tests. If something like if they're promising and getting done fast, then probably we'll include, or else we'll switch back to BBSIM only tests and probably do OLEs. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, let's check hardware tests on November. Half of the November. Then decide again if hardware tests or not. Hey, okay. Any other comments on that or questions? Okay, the next item, test suite which needs to be in green so that we allow merge to start. Ablash, is that your item? You put that or?
Yes, ma'am. So I was just going through the tests which are being done on BBSIM. I think so. There is one Turk Telecom workflow, and I think so. There is one AT&T workflow, and a few ONU adapter tests. I was just thinking what all tests we can at least make them like in green so that because there are a lot of merges which are getting in the
Yes.
pipeline.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So this periodic VOLTHA test BVSIM is the main test. I think we need to see green, and we are seeing it green. The PM test, one of the PM tests, this PM test is also green, but actually to me we need to see also this, where is it, ONU adapter test.
the last one, which is there here, 31.
Yes.
Yeah, the next.
This one.
Okay.
This one is actually having all of them green
Yeah, it's a bit difficult. Yeah, agree.
is the desired thing, but I think at least we need to have this OpenONE Go test. When I check this, test, I see that most of them, fails for the same reason. Somehow some data remains in etcd after OLT restart or OLT disable, etc. If we fix it, hopefully we will fix more than one, but we need to fix this as well. Yeah, this is my opinion. If you have any other concerns, I don't know. The multi-PM test, multi-OLT PM test is failing, but at least the PM test is green. So some of these can be, test issues, multiple tests, but at least the single of them, single PM test, single OpenONE Go test, single BBSIM test, this should be green to me.
Okay. So I'll take up the OpenONE Go test. I'll check and we'll see what is the problem there.
Okay.
So I think from the list we have only that as of now, correct? Which we need to get in green. Others look fine. So if that is good enough, then we can start the merges. So these are all spawned from VOLTHA system tests only, I believe. Correct, Matt?
Sorry?
These are all the tests are all from the VOLTHA system tests repo itself.
Yes, as far as I
The
know.
Yeah, the robo test cases are there. Okay, yeah, I'll check that.
Yeah. If you're okay, then I'm skipping to the next item.
Yeah, sure. Yes.
Okay. Update VOLTHA tools with new version of the tools. This is, Eric, is it from you?
Yeah, this is from me again. So here, right, I checked this, the VOLTHA Docker tools has those Go versions of the Go and also the linters, the SCAs, and the Proto-C gens. And they're quite a bit old. And that is what is being used when we run the linters. So we have updated it, although we haven't merged, but once we will have to run once the SCAs, the linters, along with core ONU adapter and OLT adapter, and see if any issues pop up. So that we are fixing. So what we'll do is we'll run these against whatever linter errors come, we will fix it, we'll push them, and then probably we can update this. I was just giving a heads up if everyone is fine with bumping up these versions.
Okay. So if you update this, how will our other components or pipelines, etc., any place will affect by this? Do we need
Actually,
any other, tests or edits on it, any other repositories?
yes, actually all of the repos use this.
Mm-hmm.
So there will be one tool being published to the GitHub. So Docker Hub or GitHub, I'm not sure. And that is what will be used when we do make SCA, make lint and all in the OpenOLT adapters in any of the VOLTHA components.
Okay.
So that has everything is common. How the makefile and everything, the SCA is done. They all use this Docker tools image.
Okay. After this is merged, we need to keep an eye on the Jenkins jobs, I guess. If any
First
job
first what we'll do is we'll ensure that there are no, we'll upgrade it and then ensure that there are no linters. If there are, we'll fix them and merge it and then only update this Docker.
Okay, good then.
Yeah.
Any questions or comments on this? And floor is open for any other topic you want to discuss.
Yeah, I had one more topic. I forgot to add it. So we have done some optimizations in the OpenONU adapter, basically on the memory consumption. As of now, ONU adapter was very hungry. It was eating up a lot of memory. So we have reduced this quite a bit. So I'll come up with the document and how we have reduced it and what are the changes what we have done and the corresponding merge requests along with that.
Perfect.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of changes there involved, especially on the MIB templating side. So that I'll come up.
So do you have any plan about the time? Is it going to
Next
be
week.
the next? Okay.
Yeah, next week I'll have it ready.
Okay. Okay, then, if there's no any other item, then
Yeah, one more. Sorry, sorry,
okay.
man. So there's one more optimization we are doing, wherein as of now, the ONU adapter, whenever it restarts or upgrade, so the reconcile happens from the ONU. So whatever ONU adapter has, the data and whatever ONU has, that will be reconciled. So I think we should keep that optional, because doing that many reconcile for all the ONTs, that one of scale setup will not be a good idea. And also there is no probability that ONU will change the configuration by itself or any other external force apart from ONU. So that also I'll come up with a document, just like how I do it for memory consumption. Just an heads up, so that these two documents will come next week.
Okay, Ablash, I couldn't get it well, I guess. So what data you said we're keeping for ONU, or what configuration we're doing repeatedly?
Okay. So what we do as of now is, once the ONU adapter restarts.
Okay, adapter.
So yeah. So what will ONU adapter do is, it'll go to ONUs via OMCI. It'll send out a few OMCIs, get the configured MEs in the ONU, and compare it along with what ONU adapter has in its DB. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is a bit like it'll spike up, and also I feel it's a bit unnecessary, or probably it can be kept optional.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so that I'll come up. We've done some changes there as well to skip that, and also not to skip it based on a flag. So that also I'll come up why this is needed and why probably it's not needed. So I'm expecting a few like discussions around this, like why should we do this and all. So yeah, I'll come up with that on the same.
Is it going to be next week or in the next weeks, should I say?
The next week should be fine.
Okay.
I can do it next week, both together. Yeah.
Okay.
And also, it's been a while since the TST meetings have been long enough, so we will have them long.
Okay, perfect.
For the next week, I will not be able to join this call, probably Mahir, because of the network X event.
Oh,
Just
yes.
for your information.
Yeah, that's good point to bring up. Yeah. Perhaps, Abhilash, I don't know if you or anyone from you will be available for the next week or will be in Network X. Probably some of the attendance to these meetings may be in Network X next week. Perhaps we're better to postpone the next week's meeting or cancel it.
Okay, sure. Yeah, yeah, good. I'm fine for that, because I'm also expecting all of the TSTV to be present when I'm going with this document. So yeah, I'm fine with going the next after week.
Okay, let's do it. The week after.
Yeah.
Good then.
So so that means there's no TST meeting next week, or
Yes, there is no.
so then I also move my preparation to the week after.
Yes, to the other week, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure if it's just like the topic itself, or if the whole meeting is actually just canceled. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Last announcements for any other comments? Okay then. Thank you everybody for joining the meeting, and see you 2 weeks later.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
See you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
bye.